Hello, hello, and welcome to the Lions In After Dark. I am your host, Lauren Lyons, and I'm back with another TV recap with Married to Medicine season 11, where we're going to get into all things reunion and the entire season as a whole. Thank you guys for joining me from YouTube and from TikTok. So good to see everyone. Now, before we get started, though, we have to go over a couple of house den rules. We are only talking about a show. We don't know these people personally, so please do not take anything that we say personally. This is a recap, and we're only talking about people based on what they present us on the show. So keep that in mind, okay? Now that we've gotten it out the way, let's just dive right into it. I'm really not going to be here long because for those who've been watching Married to Medicine, there's not really a whole lot we could really get into or talk about. Anyway, so we won't be here for long, I promise. But for those watching on YouTube, I'm going to pull up the cast photos for you because before, as we jump right on in, let's talk about these looks from the reunion. First, so I'm curious. I want to know, what were you all? Who do you think dressed the best for the reunion? I'm gonna give my vote to Toya. I think Toya was best dressed. I can't give it to Dr. Contessa because every single time there's always a miss. Like she's always missing the mark. This has been her best dress so far. I think she really looks so cute, so nice. It goes with the theme. But I think Toya's dress is the best. And then next, I would give it to Dr. Heavenly for sure. Those are my top looks for the reunion looks. I think the best dress is absolutely Sweet Teas. Like, I don't understand where's the disconnect in fashion. She's also been a miss the entire season in looks. But definitely with this reunion look, it's not cute. Those who kept it pretty safe and kept it really cute, Quad, I think looks really nice. Then I would probably give it to Mimi. It's got some drama. It's got some, life to it. And then Dr. Simone's is a very interesting take. Or Dr. Jackie, hers is cute as well, but it's boring, just like we know it to be. So, hey, not really surprising there. But pretty much, as we talk about season 11 of Married to Medicine, it's honestly boring. It's not their best season, and they haven't really been having a great season in a while, to be quite honest with you. I definitely think there's some shakeups, and we'll definitely talk about it. I will say, though, which is interesting enough, is the reunion was by far more entertaining than the actual season itself. We got 3 parts, and again, I was very worried because I was like, there was nothing that really happened for us to have 3 parts of a reunion, but they proved me wrong, and it was interesting. I'll give them that. I will absolutely give them that. The reunion was interesting. So we get into part 1, where we more so talk about Contessa and Heavenly situation, and they pretty much made up very quickly on working through their issues that they had. So for those who don't know, during the show, they went on a girls trip, and Dr. Heavenly and Contessa got into this very big fight where it was really about to get physical. And that was really the end of their friendship. So Contessa feels like Heavenly always runs her mouth. And of course, because Dr. Heavenly goes live here on YouTube, and she gives recaps of the show and talks about the cast members and tweets and stuff. So Dr. Contessa felt like personal things that her and Dr. Heavenly had talked about, she went to the internet to say during her recaps, but also felt like Dr. Heavenly was wrong for pretty much saying that her husband was abusive. So she's really upset about that. She also wanted to really Dr. Contessa, which I did like and wanted her back to come back on the season. I really did. I'm happy that she is back, but I feel like um she came back to redeem her marriage, to really try to show a different light versus what we saw on the last season that Dr. Contessa was on, which did not really look good. So she came back. She tried to redeem herself, but she's still very upset with Heavenly because she just felt like Heavenly is the reason why everyone was saying that about Scott. Which I can tell you as that everyone, that is absolutely not why we thought that way about Scott. Like, Scott showed us who he was in that season that made us think about Scott. So, and Dr. Heavenly really feels like you know, should Dr. Contessa, I think she's just upset that Dr. Contessa is mad at her, and you know how Heavenly was going to always apologize but not really mean it. And yeah, so Dr. Heavenly feels like she wasn't in the wrong, and she felt like, hey, you are the reason, you brought yourself on this show and you talked about your marriage, so why are you mad at me? Like, maybe don't do that. And although I do think, particularly in that situation where Dr. Heavenly said your mama, and Dr. Contessa's mom has been passed away for years, like yeah, Dr. Heavenly was wrong. Like, one thing about it is Dr. Heavenly is going to be take it too far, and she took it too far in that situation. I think it's normal for anyone to react in that way when you're talking about someone's unalived mother. Like, anyone is going to react that way. And so to not think that she wouldn't is crazy. And that's where Dr. Heavenly took it too far. However, I have to agree with Dr. Heavenly that, like, you know, Contessa, listen, everybody saw your husband make up a lie that he was talking to someone else. Everyone saw that your husband lost his mind when you wanted to go to school and pinned your children against him. Let's just call it for what it was. He did. He absolutely, like, made the situation worse, and absolutely was saying things to your kids in order for you to guilt you to not go to school for only a year program, like, which is the wild part. Those were situations that we saw on camera. Dr. Heavenly did not make us think that Scott was doing some shady stuff. Like that did not come from her. So she really did just clock what we all saw on television. So I really feel like the anger is a little bit misplaced in that regard, because it's like, you have to own that you all came to this TV show and exposed your marriage. That has nothing to do with Dr. Heavenly. And if you put it out there for the public, people are allowed to comment on it. Now, I can see that, yes, you thought she was a friend and would be careful, but Dr. Heavenly been doing these lives for years, and there's a lot of, you know, criticism on, should she be doing these lives, should she not be doing these lives, and it comes up every year on the reunion. And although, yes, again, Heavenly can be very reckless in the things that she says, at the end of the day, it keeps the show relevant. Let's just be so for real. She gets on her lives, she says something, it goes viral. Next season, we're talking about it. Say what you will about Dr. Heavenly, she is keeping the light bill. She's paying the light bill at Married to Medicine. She's keeping it going. And I think, like, and I can tell with this particular reunion, she was tired and she really did fall back. I really think that she wanted to allow Quad to come and have her reunion. And honestly, I think this was Quad's best reunion to ever happen. But she cannot carry this show by herself. She cannot do it. And I feel like that's extremely unfair, because no one else is really truly clocking in but her and maybe Toya. So I think that, you know, say what you want to say about Dr. Heavenly. She clocks into work and she keeps the story going and she keeps momentum going, but she can't do it by herself. And that, I think, is becoming the problem, and why we need to examine and really look at this cast in order to keep this going. So we handled that situation in part one. Then we also get again we see Quad and Sweet Tea. And so the thing about Sweet Tea, just recapping, is Sweet Tea is married to now Quad's ex-husband. They've been married for what should be like 2 years now. And now you could, to me it felt like there was a rule or unspoken rule that Quad and Sweet Tea should not interact, but clearly that has been broken. Clearly, I mean, you're on this show. Y'all are gonna talk. And so now they are fighting because of the big situation. This was probably the peak of the episode where they went out of town, a couple's trip, and there were multiple fights happening at the same time, to which Quad's current boyfriend and ex-husband were really about to get in a physical altercation. And therefore, like, I believe her ex-husband wanted to press charges against her current boyfriend. So that was the peak of the season. Okay, that was. So now Sweet Tea and Quad aren't getting along, which, to be honest with you, they don't their issues really aren't their issue. Their issue is because Quad and her ex-husband still have very strong unresolved issues and like feelings about each other. Honestly, I'm convinced that Dr. G still is in love with Quad. I'm with Dr. Heavenly on that one. I think he is absolutely still has feelings and is hurt that Quad moved on to someone better. Let's just clock it. He's better. So I think that, yeah, I think this is really what it is. They definitely have some unresolved issues and resentment towards each other. And that, as a result, is why Quad and Sweet Tea are not getting along. I will say the fact that Dr. G and Sweet Tea were told to, or were asked to come on this show, is very trifling. And yeah, Quad should have been she should have been mad last season, right? I feel like the energy she gave should have been the energy that she gave last season. This is very late in the game, and I understand that Quad was fighting for her lifeline on the show, which is why I think it is a lot delayed. But she should have been doing this last season. Like, this energy we should have got, So, but I still liked it, and I will say that this was Quad's best reunion. She was not playing. She was throwing jabs. She was she was hitting it left and right. So like she really ate that. Like when she said that line, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. Yeah. 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 She did that. She absolutely did that. So I really I give her 10s for this reunion. I think her and Sweet Tea's relate, like, I'm over it. I really am. Because my other issue with this is that we also saw the behavior that Dr. G displayed on his seasons of Married to Medicine. And that's another part that bothers me is you all saw what that man did, and what he did was unkind and very disrespectful to women. And yet, y'all brought him back on this cast. And I don't want to jump ahead too much, but especially the men in the group, I feel like dance around his emotions, and they never fully hold him accountable, and it actually irritates me because Dr. G is not kind to women, and I'm putting it very nicely. Like, he's not. And the fact that, like, they will say in one breath, no, you couldn't talk to my wife like that, and I would never talk to my wife like that, but you never actually fully hold him accountable for his actions while he was married and even in this situation. So that was really frustrating. I think the only person who was really daring to say something was Damian, and you still had men playing devil's advocate as if you're like excusing this behavior. I really don't understand it. And that is one of the most annoying parts like of the men's group, of the husbands. Like, y'all don't stand on it, and it's like, the behavior is terrible, and you won't say it, and you won't let that man know he's wrong. But absolutely, Quad has a point to be upset. What I find very interesting is I think we all really forgot that it was because Dr. Heavenly was actually one of the main people that brought Quad on. I mean, brought Sweet Tea and Dr. G back on the show. And I find that so funny that we've all forgotten that because of the way that Dr. Heavenly has been Quad's Echo this entire reunion. I'm like, but wait, wasn't it you? Like, I had to really go back and like research because I'm like, wasn't it you who said that you invited her to give Quad a lifeline? So why are you now like, yeah, you should have never been back? Yeah, like you're co-signing with Quad, but you're the reason she's here. What's happening? I was so confused. Like that, I was so confused by that. So confused by that. So I like that was hilarious to me. I personally feel like, I see where they were going with it, but I think Sweet Tea is not meant for reality TV. And that's not a dig. There are just certain people who cannot just function in a like confrontational space. Like I can't, where I have to be on my toes. I have to be I have to be quick all the time, be on and love it and do this as a job. Like, no, I wouldn't. I think Sweet Tea takes it so personal. She can't do it. And also it's annoying and it's tired. It's tired because even just responding back and saying things, I'm just like, you don't have material, like you don't know what to say. To say that Quad is jealous of you is wild. That was wild. That was actually wild. Because of what? And then I have to bring up the video with her and Dr. Simone. And I'm definitely jumping a little bit here, but to sit here and brag that you're paying on Quad's old house is not a dig. Like, but the fact that you sat here, recorded it, I know you had to edit the video, and you still chose to go and post it. No, like an embarrassment, or wait a minute, that didn't make any sense to me. That never ever crossed your mind. Like, that's actually crazy. That don't make sense. That don't make sense at all. So right there told me, oh no, ma'am, you're not. This is not it. Even just how Sweet Tea, went through the entire season. I mean, you don't have an ally. You have some Dr. Simone, but that's because she's bitter and mad at Quad, which we'll get into in a second. But when even Dr. Mimi tried to give you a leg and tried to reach out and say, hey, what's going on? You just shut it completely down. And then also, again, we see where Dr. G is talking to a woman disrespectfully after the incident. And like he was acting what we already know him to be. But I just feel like, yeah, I mean, she gets very defensive. She doesn't really have any friends with the group. And will I say that the women were they friendly to her? Were they really open to her? I honestly, no, I can say that, right? Like they could have been nicer. But I also feel like Sweet Tea walked into the group with a chip on her shoulder a little bit because she's younger and she's a new wife. And my thing is, you're not the first younger castmate to join a cast that is older in a different demographic as you. You're not the first. Ashley did it, Candace did it, but because they were so secure in themselves and they didn't allow that difference in age to stop them from connecting, they just came right in and they were themselves and it worked and they built relationships. So I feel like Sweet Tea never could really get over that hurdle of really building authentic connections, nor do I feel like she sorry guys, someone was calling me. Nor do I feel like she she couldn't get past it. She really could not get past um trying to put my watch on do not disturb. But anyway, she couldn't really get past that hurdle for one. I mean, and Dr. Jackie really gave her no chance or opportunity. But her only lifeline was Dr. Simone, if we're being completely honest, because Dr. Heavenly bringing her into this space, that's her biggest op. And she never could really find peace with Dr. Heavenly. And that should have been someone she should have attached herself to. Unpopular opinion, and I'm going to say it. I also feel like a strategy for Sweet Tea would have, don't shoot me, or don't get me, would have been if she would have actually been cool with Quad, if she actually would have gotten along with Quad. I actually think that that would have been interesting to see. I would have. I'm going to just say it, you know? But again, like they're in a very sticky situation. So I totally and fully understand why they would not, you know, because it's not normal for you to be on a show with your ex. But I also feel like to also make it seem like people need to pick between you is a losing strategy as well, being on this show, because this was Quad's show. Quad was on the show before you all came. You knew she was a cast member. She was a cast member when he left and when you got remarried. So to sit here and act like Quad does not exist and that she doesn't have any rights or seniority in this group is crazy. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. So it's the logic of like towards the end of the season where they are like, you need to choose who, like, because we don't know if we can coexist. Okay, well, it sounds like this is your last season. Why are you all putting yourselves in torture? Like, it doesn't make sense. This is so similar to Beyond the Gates. Where Danny, ex-husband and new wife, decided to stay in her community that her family is known, like where her family, everybody knows her family. Everybody knows they go to a country club and you stay and then you're surprised when everyone picks her family over you. It's a similar situation. Like, what are we doing here? It makes no sense. And I'm tired. I'm actually very tired. I'm over it. So we got that back and forth, and then we got a little bit of Simone and Quad, who are still fighting over the same thing since what, season 7? I mean, I'm tired of you guys fighting, and it's the same thing. Dr. Simone feels like Quad is not authentic. She doesn't call them, talk to them after they film. She only talks to her when the cameras are up. So Dr. Simone feels like she's fake. Whereas Quad is like, you've done so many bad things to me. Why would you think that I'm your buddy, like gonna be buddy with you, especially over these past couple of seasons when we've fallen out when we finished filming? Because honestly, Quad she's really not friends with everyone. The only one she's really friends with is Dr. Heavenly, like on and off camera for the most part. So, and I think she's started to connect with Toya a little bit, but I could be wrong. But other than that, she really doesn't talk and engage with anyone. So what we come to find out is Dr. Simone, which she showed her slip, as Mariah would say, really attached herself to Sweet Tea to get back at Quad. And it was like, oh, wow. And it's like at the end of the day, both of you all hold grudges. And I really need y'all to own that. Like both of you hold grudges bad, because this is such an old issue. I don't care anymore. What Dr. Simone did last season was nasty. And then for you to admit this season, oh, I'm friends with her because we can be friends with anybody we want to, especially when you're not here. That would be it for me if I was Quad, to be quite honest with you. But to think that she's going to just, no, y'all got some healing to do. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time. And I think it's crazy to think that it won't. but also they have to want to forgive and they hold grudges, period. But I really don't care. I'm over it. I'm really over it. So we got that issue, and then we got Toya, where Toya had a lot of heat for Sweet Tea. She had a lot of heat. So Sweet Tea said that, like, Toya, you wanted me to get into it with Quad and have an issue with Quad, and I chose not to. Her on her first season last year. And so look, Toya is denying it, but Toya is also like, Toya stayed on Sweet Tea. I loved it, but it was like, Toya, we're not gonna sit here and act like you did want that to happen. You did want to use Sweet Tea against Quad because you were upset with her at the time, and now you're not. So it's just like the back and forth in this group is actually crazy. And it's like, just own it. You did, but now you see how Sweet Tea is. You see how she's moving. She's really not giving herself a lifeline in this show. I mean, I understand fully why Toya would not want to, die on this hill and be on a sinking ship. I completely understand that. And I wouldn't either. And then lastly, we get nothing from Dr. Jackie. I mean, and when I say nothing, I mean nothing. I forgot she was there. When she was asked a question, she would again roll the fence the entire time. Yeah, so that's it. That's what we got from her. And then of course Phaedra was mentioned. As you can see, I do not have Phaedra picture up here because why? She did not show up. And it is very clear that Phaedra literally used this show to get back on Housewives of Atlanta. She got what she wanted. There's really nothing else that I can say about that. I think to call these women demonic and evil, like, you were on Real Housewives of Atlanta. You can't believe that. You truly cannot believe that. There's no way. Like, you are an OG on an OG show where things were done that had never been done before. And you cannot sit here and say that these ladies were so vile to you. That did not happen. Do I feel like, yeah, they, again, like, anytime you come into a group of ladies who are friends and you're new to the group, yeah, it's not good. It's not easy and it is a little bit difficult, but like, they were not what you made them out to be, and it's not believable. It's really not. Just say you wanted to go back to Atlanta and you use the show to get back on there. I personally did not respect the fact that she did not show up. Like, close this chapter. Come, just say what you need to say and move on, because let's just call it for what it is. With the beach incident, let's take a step back and let's talk about what happened with the beach incident situation. So there was a couple trip. As we know, Simone likes to host. She'll also have Heavenly come in and help her in some spaces. They all come together and they go travel to the beach. Everyone, including Dr. G and Quad and her husband. Phaedra is also invited, but she's not married to Medicine. She's not married at all, but also not married to Medicine. So it was confusion as to why she was there. But anyway, they all went. Well, of course, if I'm Phaedra, I'm not going to be a third wheel. She brings her date that she met at Sweet Tea's mixer event. Mind you, though, this date knows her ex-husband. Well, before they went on their trip, Dr. Heavenly said, "Hey, I was thinking about inviting Apollo, because I'm cool with Apollo. If it's okay if he was coming." She did have some hesitation, but she said, okay, that is fine. She knew Apollo was coming because Dr. Heavenly did tell her and asked her directly. She said, okay. So Apollo comes. Now, his wife was not initially supposed to come, but then I'm sure once she found out that Phaedra was coming and that this was for a show, I'm sure his wife says she was coming. And she came. So everybody was shocked. But also, people were shocked because Phaedra brought the man that she met. And they were like, uh-oh, didn't he tell you that he knew your ex-husband and you knew your ex-husband was coming? You just set that up. You set that up. And I think and she did. Let's not even play a game. She absolutely set it up. She knew her ex-husband was coming and she had a date. And she because she knows this guy is friends with her ex-husband. So she knew what she was doing, but it backfired because his wife came. And that's what she did not fully anticipate. So I think she was more so embarrassed that it backfired and then tried to say, you all set me up, you all didn't do me right. But no, you agreed and you knew he was coming. If you didn't like it, you should have said no. Y'all have been divorced for years. So that's why they were like, okay, well, you guys can coexist. You said you were doing well. He came to the reunion. Like, you all seem fine. And now, do I think it was shady? It was shady. It was shady of Dr. Heavenly. Absolutely. But again, did it not bring us drama? Like, say what you will about Heavenly. She's keeping the light bills, keeping the lights on at Married to Medicine because it drove an entire beach day of chaos. So you have to respect it. So him and his wife are mad because it's like, we're friends. He's a hoe. Like, we know you're just doing this to get back at us. Quite frankly, who cares? Because you couldn't say nothing to me if I know you, like, you were the other woman. I don't care. Like, there's nothing you could say to try to make me the villain when you were cheating. You were with a married man. Like, it's nothing redeemable. I would not care. And quite frankly, I don't understand. Like, if she did it, she did it. So why are y'all mad? So what? So what? So I think she felt embarrassed. While this is going on, of course, Dr. Heavenly and Sweet Tea get into it. Same thing they've been fighting about. They're getting into it. Then we get a situation where the night before, they're doing an exercise. Quad has been drinking, and Quad is bragging and talking, like, going in about her relationship. You can see that Dr. G is uncomfortable because I think that man still is in love with her. But then she, again, because they are horrible for each other, know what to do to set each other off. She starts, oh, I'm gonna plan your own baby shower because I'm so happy for you all and it's gonna be great. That sets Dr. G off. You're not gonna do anything because you talk too effing much. Her boyfriend, Quad's boyfriend, did not hear it. But when they talked about it the next day, that's when he found out. Oh, wait, that's what you said to her? Yeah, that's extremely disrespectful. We're not going to do that, which I agree. And I don't understand why the men did not also agree and did not also say, you know what? Yeah, that was wrong. No, you're wrong. No, they just stood there looking like deer in headlights. Yeah, because there was so much I could say. That's a different conversation. Because I don't understand why men don't hold their friends accountable. But whatever. So King goes and addresses Dr. G and tells her, hey, I'm going to let it slide, but it was wrong and you need to apologize to Quad. Dr. G does not do that. And pretty much King is ready to, yeah. And King was going to, wear him out. So that all is happening in the same day at the same beach, going crazy right now. It's going down, right? Orchestrated by Dr. Heavenly. We have to give credit. So this is where the biggest issue, like, really comes from. The biggest issue of the season happens. This is why we still have issues between Simone, Quad, and Sweet Tea, and the men, because we'll get into the men a little bit later. But excuse me. So Dr. Simone, or yeah, that's the biggest issue that we got from that situation. So Phaedra from that situation left early and was like, you all treated me wrong. You set me up, pretty much put all the blame on the women, and then decided to leave the show shortly after. Even when they tried to reach out, she did not want to respond back to them. And I'm just like, why are you sitting here and playing with us like we don't know what you were doing? Like, come on. I cannot respect that. Own what you did. And if you did it, so what? So what? You could have at least came and, closed this chapter, said what you needed to say, and then you go on your merry way. But to just completely leave like that, I don't respect, and I didn't like it. I just don't like. I don't respect that, because and you try to position it like something was really happening, like they treated you so badly. Please, please, because of the money thing, the donations thing, that was so minor. I didn't like it at all. I didn't respect it. So, Phaedra was talked about, but it wasn't really much. So now we move on to the men, where the men get a segment, and pretty much Damon is the only one that calls out Dr. G for his behavior and what he does. Pretty much Damien would refer patients to Dr. G, who is a psychiatrist, but online Dr. Heavenly had a tweet out with him because her and Sweet Tea were going back and forth online, and called Dr. Greg I can't say it, but not a good word that would hurt any person with a reputation in medicine. So, of course, they had talked. He told him that, they talked and they said, "Hey, I don't like this. This was wrong. We're not going to see more of your patients." I think from that point, Damien had talked to Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly did apologize, said it was wrong. Damien and Dr. G had talked, from what I understood, and it was a little bit confusing, but Dr. G, and Damien had talked by that point, and they were good to go and they were fine. So Dr. Damien still is referring patients to Dr. G, and Dr. G denied all of them and was like, "Oh, I don't have the capacity to meet their needs." No, you're being passive aggressive because you're still mad at Heavenly. So Damien was upset because he was like, "Why would you sit here and say everything's okay, everything's good, but when it comes to business, like, you deny the people I'm sending you, but you're saying, oh no, I don't have the capacity. Like, let's stop. You're being passive aggressive." And pretty much Damien was clocking his behavior, but the men were trying to make an excuse and not hold him really fully accountable. And I'm just like, what in the world? Like, if I've already said this earlier, and I won't repeat myself, but like, they need to really do better and really hold them accountable, especially when you see behavior of men disrespecting women that you would not tolerate if it happened to your wife. So why don't y'all say that if you are his friends? The way that they coddle that man is absolutely crazy. Like, it's so annoying that only King and Damien are the people to call out a spade and what his behavior is. So we get that situation, we get that to happen. And then they concluded where everyone comes together. We do get more apologies with contestant Dr. Heavenly. Sweet Tea and Quad kind of give it a rest. And Simone and Quad have pretty much are done at this point. And then, I didn't mention, because I wanted to mention her last. We had Dr. Mimi, who was joined in a little bit later. I like Dr. Mimi, and I really feel like production failed her. I like her and I like her husband. They know communication. They can communicate. Like, and they're a beautiful couple too. I feel like production really didn't give her fair edits to really make her feel connected in the group, but you can tell she stands alone. You can tell she's secure in herself, and you can tell like she does not mind being honest, because they did a segment where she read everybody and issues that they need to work on. And she clocked their T. She clocked it. And I was like, yeah, I respect that. So I like Mimi. I want her to come back. I feel like she needs a better, like they need to be more fair with her in showing her. Because I don't think they were this season. But I do like her for the show. They need to just bring her in a little bit more. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on the reunion. It was more entertaining than the season, but overall I give the season like a 6. It was like there was nothing else that happened. And, which leads me to my next part of what does season 12 need to look like? There needs to be cuts. There needs to be cuts. I'm gonna just get this out the way because this may be controversial. I don't really know, but I really feel like it's not controversial because we're all thinking it, but maybe we don't want to say it. Dr. Jackie, although she is very respected, she has a legacy. She does great work. It's time for her to go. She should have been gone 2 seasons ago, and that's being nice. It's time for her to go. Why does she keep getting first chair? She's literally contributed nothing in Married to Medicine seasons. The only thing that we got from her was when Curtis cheated. And that was what, season 4? 3, 4? Why is she still here? Why? And I know they have a soft spot for her, but it's time for her to go. She got to go. Yeah. And I think what really made it worse was like when Andy would give her a bone to respond, to say something, she would just be like, I don't want to get any on me. I don't want to. You're on a show. And if I was Dr. Heavenly, I would be upset too because the blows and punches that Dr. Heavenly gets on this show, and she's saying and doing things for Jackie and taking her hits for the show, I would be upset because when it's times for you to stand with me and have my back or speak up and say something how you feel and you choose to opt out, that would actually irritate me really bad. Because why am I taking all these hits and you can't even come and stand up when it's time to stand up? That is irritating. I would be annoyed. Like I would be like, no, I'm not doing this no more with you. I'm not. So I don't respect that. And when I say she literally contributes nothing, it's time for her to go. Immediately. Cut. She's a great person. If she still wants to go, if she wants to be a friend of, I would even give her that, but it's time for her to go. Up next, Sweet Tea and Dr. G need to go. I understand, like they do bring a level of excitement to the show, but we are so tired of this dance and this issue. It's old. I don't care anymore. It's not entertaining to me. I'm not interested in Dr. G and in their relationship. Sweet Tea is not built for this. She doesn't have any friends in this group. I don't think she ever will. It's time for her to go. It's done. It's done. It's absolutely done. I think and we're all saying this and we've been saying this and I will stand on it. Mariah needs to come back. You all need Mariah. She needs to come back or that's it. This season is done. Like this series is done. This franchise. She needs to come back. Mariah still has problems. There's a rift between Simone. Her and Toya had an issue. They know it. They have history. Her and Dr. Heavenly. She keeps Heavenly on her toes. Her and Contessa, I don't know each other. Like, I don't know how their relationship is, but that would ignite and cause everybody to clock in for their job. We need her back. That's who needs to be in this next season. Mariah. I wish I could write it. She needs to come back. Period. I like Mimi, like I said, and I want her to stay. I actually think she should replace Dr. Jackie in being the voice of reason, the, the person that people, yeah, the voice of reason of the group. I think it should be her. And the thing about Mimi is she's not scared to say how she feels about a situation. She's not scared to stand on, the truth. And I like that. And she's confident and comfortable in her skin. I think she can easily replace the role of Dr. Jackie. Her and her husband, they need to do that. That's what I would do. Toya, I mean, not Toya, Quad, I think has earned her spot. She did a really good season, and although she's no longer married to medicine, like at the end of the day, like she is a part of this franchise. She is the reason why a lot of people show up. So I think that she should stay on this show and be a part of it. So I think she should say Toya don't have nothing going on, but I do like the role that she plays in keeping people accountable and honest. And again, she might have something if we bring back Mariah, because I don't know what terms they're on. I don't think they're on bad terms, but that would keep her activated in what's going on. I like Toya. I don't want her to go. And she will clock in and she will hold people accountable. I want her to stay. And actually, I want Dr. Simone to stay. I know a lot of people want her gone and don't like her, but I want to see how she operates without Dr. Jackie here. And say what you will, she is entertaining and she's going to call out. She's going to speak her truth. She's going to be honest. So I would like to see her come back come back. So and Contessa, I do like Contessa. I like what she brings to the group. Contessa's cool. Contessa does have a lot going on because her and Scott's relationship feels like we're hiding something. That felt real like, okay, you want us to believe this lie. But anyway, that's what I think. Yeah, Dr. Jackie and Miss T need to go, and you just need to bring in Mariah. Honestly, I didn't mind what was her name from last season, who the where she was married to a plastic surgeon, something with an A, Anaya, and I didn't mind her because she was, one thing about it was entertaining. But no, Mariah needs to come back. Period. Like there needs to be shakeups. There needs to be shakeups. That's just what it is. Because yeah, I'm tapping out. Like if season 12 is the same group of women and nobody like Sweet Tea and Dr. Jackie are here, why are we watching? There's nothing that's going on. It's time for shakeups. So yep, that's all I have to really say about the season. Because again, it really wasn't anything to like recap about episode by episode. There was nothing going on. So I felt like a really just 45-minute hour recap is just enough for this show. Yeah, I think production needs to go to the drawing board. So we'll see what happens. But let me know in the comments what you thought about the season overall. Do you agree like with who should come back season 12? What do you think? I'm really curious and want to know. Yeah, they need to get it together. They do. So yeah, but I'll be back because I definitely do want to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. That was absolutely crazy. We're finally season 5, and I feel like now there's enough time to really have an opinion about it. So definitely want to come back and talk more about that. And yeah, that's all I have. Definitely look out for those that recap and other recaps that'll be coming out because Handmaid's Tales just dropped. So yeah, we're gonna have to cover that. We're gonna have to cover it. And a couple of other shows that I've checked out that I would love to share my thoughts on. So we'll definitely do that and come back with that soon. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe at the Lions Den podcast. on YouTube and here on TikTok. You know, we're over on TikTok as well. And we'll also be streaming live from there, both places. So definitely make sure to follow and subscribe to our pages and look out for what's coming up next. Thank you all for watching and have a good night. Bye.